I love it anytime I get enough genre TV releases to record an entire podcast devoted to genre TV releases. So, this month, that's what we have. First off, we're going to start with a show I really like, The Adventures of Merlin, the complete second season, courtesy of our friends over at the BBC. Now, anybody who's been following DVD Snapshot for a while knows I love BBC television. I think they put out some of the best TV on TV, and there are very few shows the BBC puts out that I'm not a fan of, especially their genre shows. Well, Merlin is no exception. This is the young Merlin, basically, as told by the BBC, and it's just much like they do with Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Who and Torchwood and all those great shows they put out. They really just managed to make a show that you can really get into and really enjoy and embrace the characters. If you like the Robin Hood show, which I was a big fan of, you will definitely enjoy Merlin. The show doesn't have a terrifically recognizable cast. Really, the only people in it you'll recognize are Anthony Stewart Head from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and John Hurt, who really just provides a voice as the giant dragon. But the show really is great. It manages to mix in some mysticism, but it isn't over-the-top like sci-fi fantasy stuff. And it really is kind of about the relationship between Merlin and Arthur as basically like teenage boys. And it's just a fantastic show. It's really terrific, and I really enjoy it, as I do with most every BBC property. So this set is the complete second season, and it's 5 discs, and you get a number of extra features, including a cast and crew introduction to Season 2, commentaries by cast and crew, behind-the-scenes making-of featurette, another behind-the-scenes making-of featurette called The Making of Merlin, photo gallery, and some wallpapers if you pop the disc into your computer. So that is Merlin. I definitely recommend picking that one up. Next, switching gears, we have Generator Rex Volume 1, and that is a Cartoon Network show that apparently is not the same thing as Ben 10, even though it seems very, very similar in feel. In this case, it's this teenage kid, 15-year-old kid, Generator Rex. He is sort of a superhero in a post-superhero world, if that makes sense. Basically, it takes place in a future where nanites have infected pretty much everything on the planet. Every animal, every person, every plant has been infected with microscopic machine organisms. And so sometimes the biological hosts mutate into these giant creatures called Evos, and that's where Rex comes in, and he fights them and blows lots of stuff up, and it's very cool and very frenetic and very energetic and very exciting if you're a 12-year-old kid. I don't mean that to sound derogatory. I think that's who the show is aimed at. It just definitely falls into that whole kind of Ben 10 sort of aesthetic. It's very action-packed, and it's kind of snarky, and it's kind of fast-paced, and it's a fun show, but not the kind of thing that I, as an adult viewer, am going to go out of my way to watch. Not like I would something, say, like Batman the Animated Series or that type of show that I've watched as an adult. This is one that's kind of fun, it's kind of cool, but I'd like it a lot better if I was 20 years younger. This is a 2-disc set. It's Volume 1. I don't know if it completes a season per se, but it is 9 episodes, and you get a couple little extra features on there as well. So it's a good set for its money, but I'm not entirely sure what the plan is in terms of continuing to release them. 9 episodes is a strange number, but having not followed the show while it was on TV, I don't know exactly if it's going to be just that's the number they picked, or if there's a reason why there's 9 episodes per se. Maybe that's all they've made so far. I could probably research this, but I'm sure that the Generator Rex fans out there probably already know the answers to that. So still a good show if you're into that thing, or if you are a tween-aged boy. Next up, we have The Universe, 7 Wonders of the Solar System in 3D Blu-ray from the History Channel. Now, The Universe I've talked about a number of times. I've reviewed it. It's a very good show. It explores space and the cosmos and everything space and cosmos related. And this particular setting features 7 wonders of the solar system, and it looks at Saturn's rings and the eye of Jupiter and all that good stuff, the asteroid belt. But this time around, of course, it's on a 3D Blu-ray. So only works if you have a 3D Blu-ray player, at least the 3D portion of it. It does also play, there's a 2D version of it that you can play in a standard Blu-ray, and that looks great as well. Now, the 3D on this is very good. You know, most of the stuff in the show is computer generated, so it's not the same as watching Avatar. It's not that kind of 3D, but it's also not the same depth of level of CGI and stuff like that either. And the footage that you're seeing isn't to the detail level of something that's like a full-on special effect blockbuster Hollywood movie. So the 3D isn't as subtle as it could could be on some of the more advanced movies that you see in 3D Blu-rays like Avatar and Resident Evil Afterlife. But for the purposes of this show, it works quite well, and it's neat to go out and kind of see all the space-related stuff in 3D and sort of travel through the rings of Saturn in 3D is a very cool effect. So it's the Seven Wonders of the Solar System. It's 47 minutes is the episode length, and there are no extra features. So really, they're selling you on the 3D here. You're not getting a ton of content because you can get the universe in season collections, and those are obviously a little more bang for your buck in terms of length of content. But again, here the attraction is the 3D. Next up, we have Jerry Anderson's Space Precinct, the complete series. And yes, I have to say it kind of like that when I say it, because it's not just Space Precinct. It's Jerry Anderson's Space Precinct. I don't remember this show ever airing on TV. I'm sure that it did. It's not something I ever had any awareness of, and I don't think that even had I had any awareness of it, I would be a big fan of it. And I hate to be derogatory because I love science fiction television and I love cheesy television. I'm not the type of person who hates on shows like this and Xena and Hercules and Superboy because they're low budget and they can be kind of terrible sometimes, but kind of fun at other times. But this show is kind of just terrible most of the time. The writing isn't horrible. The acting is really bad. The cast is not great. The special effects are kind of like terrible. The way I can describe it the best is it's like a live-action version of a Jerry Anderson show, which I realize it is, but like, you know, Thunderbirds has that kind of cool, goofy, cheesy thing to it. Well, this is like a live-action version of that, but not made to the level of like an actual live-action high-budget movie, but sort of like the same level of quality and budget you would get on Thunderbirds, but just with real people shoved in instead of puppets. That's kind of what Space Precinct looks like. And that's hard to get over. It's not a completely terrible show. It tries hard, but man, the cast really is just not great, and that kind of kills it for me. I think I could have gotten past the cheesy special effects and the bad makeup and stuff if the cast was a little more endearing and more fun to watch, but they're not. So if you're a fan of Space Precinct, if you remember it fondly from whenever the heck it was on the air, hey, you get every episode here. Even if there are no extra features, it's still cool to kind of have this cult show on disc, but you really have to be a fan to make this one worth the purchase price. Finally, we have Criss Angel, Mindfreak, Volume 6. And, man, Criss Angel is kind of a, you know, he's an interesting guy. I don't think he's the most personality-driven person on TV. He certainly doesn't seem like the type of person that I would want to be friends with. He's a little bit bombastic and a little bit pompous, but I guess that's part of being a magician at the level that he's at. He does do some very cool stuff. I don't know if this is actually Volume 6. It is 6 one-hour episodes, so it's really titled Criss Angel Mindfreak 6, but that's also pompous, just like Criss Angel can be. But still, it's pretty cool to see some of the stuff that he does. You know, jumping over the Grand Canyon, making groups of people disappear, reenacting Houdini stuff. I mean, he just does some crazy things, and he does everything from small to big. He really is sort of the next level or the next incarnation of like your David Copperfield. But the whole sort of long hair, makeup-y kind of, you know, takes himself way too seriously shtick isn't really my favorite part about watching him. But as someone who's always been fascinated by magic and illusions, I have to say that you know, it's fun to watch for what it is. As a bonus feature, you do also get Mind Freaks that you can learn, taught by Criss. You can learn how to do illusions. Of course, he doesn't give away the secrets of his biggest tricks, but there's some fun little things on there that if you have patience and talent, you might be able to try with your friends. So, like I said, 6 one-hour episodes. It's a 2-disc set. It runs about 4.5 hours total. So a lot of bang for your buck. If you like Criss Angel and you like magic, definitely worth checking this one out.